I'm always amused by the perspective of people with regards to governance and change of leadership or making impact. If I may ask, friends, how do you think political changes are achieved? How do you actually think political changes, change in leadership trajectories in terms of moving away from perpetual tradition of malgovernance to positive, progressive, and citizens-driven governance? How do you guys think those changes are actually made? Or how do you think you can influence them? Is it by praise singing of these authors? Is it by insulting those who have superior opinion about you of how things should be done better? Is it by your compulsory loyalty in defense of your stomach infrastructure, which will not last beyond a specific timeline, maybe particularly that political dispensation, if the person you are worshiping serves for 4 years or that, and then more deeply, how much change can you actually bring to the social organized social unit? How much change do you think you can bring? How much can you actually be able to reach a governor to make a change in how he's actually being governed? How much can you actually be able, how far will you be able to change and influence a president? My very good friends, there is little you could do at the macro level. I keep actually repeating this because I find citizens who are the worst, who are the most irresponsible, who are even a liability in their immediate public spaces, who are authors of all kinds of fraud, all kinds of manipulations, all kinds of cheating once it benefits them, once it services their stomach, once they actually fed that day. I find citizens who actually found themselves in this category more often than not, utilizing data actively, engaging in discussions where there is actually no impact. Maybe they actually make dramatic or content creators who actually want to engage in creating content or what. We cannot all be comedians in this country. We cannot be, making comic engagement with our plight because I assume possibly these guys are actually content creators. If you must make real change. You must start making adjustments with how you are being governed. You know, you must start. Warren, a renowned political scientist, have actually said this. He said, any collectivity, any collectivity should be able to make impact in determining those who govern them, who takes decisions. If those decisions are will in turn influence them, decisions of those in our immediate community actually, that is why we lack the knowledge on how to appraise and critique a political leader. We lack that knowledge. It is one of the knowledge that's actually missing in the country, the knowledge of how to critique a political leader. For instance, I keep saying this, you have 36 governors, you have the president, huge allocations are actually given to the governors. The deficits of the governors are actually being put on the president without appraising the president and all that. If we should actually only critique why is the president giving a lot of money to the state governor, but that is what he should actually do because we're in a federation. If 36 states governors function effectively, 80, 90%, 90 something percent of Nigerian problems would have actually been solved because we would have had human capital rebates in terms of what people are paid, infrastructure revolution, in terms of the provisions by all these governors, security provision, because these governors are the ones who heads the state and actually know the look and crannies. They also have access to the local government and all. If all these tiers of government, local government, state government, and federal government works, 90% of Nigerian problems would have actually been solved. But the citizens who should actually know better, I wonder how the citizens who praises a particular governor, who is actually performing below the benchmark in terms of the resources actually that is being allocated to him as a governor, we also go ahead to criticize the president. And there is this, brand-led approach. When one appraises governance objectively, when one tries to discuss and raise issues with regards to how government should be appraised, critique appropriately, people easily tag and dump you as supporting opposition, or I read somebody was even calling your payments and what did you do another because some kinds of characters are forming coalitions. Coalitions for what? To actually forming coalitions and antecedent from precedent and all that. We are a senior president for years, you achieve nothing. One of your community is one, one of the the worst in terms of infrastructure. You actually did absolutely nothing. in your community and all that. And you actually sat in the Senate at the time the budgets were trumped up in terms of constituency project. Your tenure as a Senate president, that was actually when those things started. You took a lot of billions for constituency projects, which actually never materializes. And today you're actually forming coalition, all kinds of characters, dramatic characters who have failed, and all kinds of things like that. Those characters, you find them actually forming coalitions and all that. Nigeria is actually a theater of foolery. A theater of foolery where Nigerians actually engages actively, constantly on teams, on activities which they know we actually yield no results. But then, if I actually may ask the questions I've asked before, how much and where do you think you can actually make changes the most? Nigerians falls within a social unit. Nigerians are workers. I keep saying this, I'm a lecturer, and my primary concern is academics. I have a many place I work. How freely do I contribute in conditioning decisions that have come to affect me? Somebody shared a material to me this morning about how how successive governments have actually treated professors, and I just laugh and I asked him a very simple question. If it is in the hands of even the university professors to treat their colleagues, to handle the affairs of their colleagues, how better would they be treated? Your guess is as good as mine. The guy responded, well, no better. And all that because the academics is actually one of the largest constituency in Nigeria. The largest in terms of we are engagement. Part of the people you see in government are actually our students. We also have some of them who we are also our police as professors who actually are sat at the saddle of authority, and they are the one handling decisions affecting us as academics, and yet nothing good comes out of it. You know, when I looked at the whole gamut, the biggest liability, the biggest social liability in recasting the social space in Nigeria, is the academic constituency. The academic constituency is actually the most corrupt, the most unintelligent, and and the worst of it in any perspective you can think of it. But yet, you could see us engaging in all kinds of oratory gymnastics, intellectual curiosity, and all kinds of those drama to discuss about the president and all that. Most of them are actually looking for opportunity to be placed in positions where they will see money to feed their family, where they will see money to buy to football cars or Nigerian used cars and all kinds of. That's what actually they're actually looking for. How many of them actually speak up on the rock that's actually going on in their program, whether in academics or any other? How many of them? None. Most are actually queuing behind so that it will get to their turn. That is the perspective. They're queuing behind that so it will get to their turn, where they actually dramatize on seeming to be involved in criticizing what is going on in their social space. My very good friend, Nigeria have a very long way to go. There's quite Nigeria and Nigerians, there's quite a very long way to go. We must start recasting the social space which we find ourselves. It is how the socialization that will be exported at the macro level is built. If we are irrelevant at the micro level and we only came behind and supporting all kinds of ills and hoping that one day to get to our turn to eat, then we are criticizing Wike is this, Natasha, all kinds of dramatic engagements and all that. We are actually wasting our time.